I got home from work at my usual time, just after 6 p.m. I had barely stepped into the kitchen when I saw Ashley ironing a sleek black dress. It took me a moment to understand what I was seeing. For a second I thought we might have made plans that I had forgotten about. The idea actually made me feel happy. I always enjoyed going out with her. She had a way of drawing attention wherever we went. Those hazel eyes, her curly auburn hair, and the figure she maintained through regular yoga. Other men would often steal glances at her, and I'd feel proud knowing she was mine. "Hey babe," I said as I loosened my tie. "What's the occasion?" She didn't look up from the dress. "You won't believe who I ran into today," she said with a hint of excitement. "Who?" I asked, leaning against the counter. "Jake," she replied, still ironing. The name hit me hard. For a second I couldn't place it. Then it came back to me, Jake, her ex from high school. She nodded, eyes still on the fabric. "Yeah, crazy, right? I bumped into him at the coffee shop near my office." Jake was part of her past, someone she had often mentioned. He was her first love, the guy she dated before she met me. Their relationship ended when he moved across the country for college. When Ashley and I first met, she was still trying to move on from him. I started out as her friend, and over time our connection grew into something real. "So, what's he doing now?" I asked, trying to sound casual even though I felt a tight knot in my chest. "He's in town for work," she said. "He's a sales rep and travels a lot. We talked for a while, and we're going to grab dinner tonight to catch up." "Dinner? Just the two of you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yeah, just to talk about old times," she said, giving me a small smile. "High school memories and all that." I couldn't smile back. "Ashley, I'm not comfortable with this. You're going out with your ex alone. That doesn't feel right." She sighed and put the iron down. "Michael, it's not a date. I didn't think you'd want to sit through a bunch of old stories from before we even met. You'd be bored." "Bored or not, I'm your husband," I said firmly. "It's not about being entertained. It's about how this looks and how it feels. A married woman going out alone with her ex. It just doesn't sit well with me. What if I told you I was meeting Lauren from college and didn't invite you?" I added. She rolled her eyes. "I trust you because I know you love me. This is nothing, Michael. You're overreacting." "Am I?" "Yes." "Then why are you ironing that black dress? That's not something you wear for just a casual chat. If it's just old friends catching up, why not dress casually?" Her jaw tightened. She put the dress down. "I like to look nice when I go out. It's not a big deal. You're making it one. You act like you don't trust me." "It's not about trust," I said. "It's about respect. I'm telling you this doesn't feel okay to me. Either I come with you, or you don't go." That pushed her over the edge. "You're not my father, Michael," she snapped. "I'm an adult. I'm going, and you don't get to control me." She picked up the dress and stormed off to our bedroom. Slamming the door behind her, I stood there in the silence, feeling the weight of it all. After a minute, I grabbed a soda from the fridge and sat at the table, my thoughts spinning. We had always talked things through before, always worked things out. But this felt different. It felt like she had drawn a line, and I didn't know how to step over it. When she came out, she looked stunning. The dress hugged her perfectly, and her hair was swept up with a care that didn't say, "Casual dinner." She paused beside me, leaned down, and kissed me softly on the cheek. "We'll talk when I get back, okay?" she said gently. But I wasn't in the mood for gentle. "We've talked," I said, staring at the soda can in my hands. "You've made it clear that my feelings don't matter. Go do what you want, but don't expect me to be okay with it." Her expression changed. Hardened. "I'm not sleeping with him, you jerk. It's dinner." She spun on her heel and walked out, slamming the door behind her. I went to bed early, hoping to shut off my mind. But the thoughts kept coming. Where was she? What were they talking about? Were they laughing about old memories? Around 10 that night I heard the front door open. She went straight to the bathroom, took a shower, just like she always did, then slipped into bed beside me. Her skin brushed against mine. "Hey babe," she whispered. "How about some makeup sex?" I turned to face her, my voice flat. "Not really feeling it, Ash. I'd just be wondering if you're thinking about him." She huffed, frustrated. "What? You think I got all hot and bothered with Jake and came home to you? Did you?" I asked, keeping my tone calm. "No," she stammered. "I'm saying I'm here with you because I love you. Why can't you see that?" "Because you don't understand why this bothers me," I said, sitting up. "I'm your husband. My feelings used to matter to you. Now it feels like Jake's back, and I'm just in the way." She went quiet, her eyes dropping to the covers. "You're right," she finally said, her voice soft. "I got caught up in seeing him again. Sorry. Can you forgive me?" I sighed and pulled her into my arms. "Yeah, I forgive you. That night we made love. And for a while I let myself believe it was over. I convinced myself we had moved past it. But 2 weeks later she called me at work. "Hey, I have to stay late tonight." "Special project," she said, sounding breezy. I paused, my soda halfway to my lips. "Late, huh? On a Wednesday?" "Yeah, just some deadlines," she replied casually. Didn't sit right with me. Wednesday, the same day Jake had first come into town. "All right," I said. "See you later." But the unease came creeping back. I told myself I was being paranoid, but I couldn't shake it. Had to know. So I drove to her office with burgers as an excuse. I took the elevator up, signed in at the front desk, and knocked on her glass office door. When she saw me, she smiled warmly. "Hey babe," she said, opening the door and hugging me. "What's this?" "Thought you might be hungry," I said, holding up the bag. "That's so sweet," she said, beaming. "Let's eat quick though. I've got a lot to finish." We ate quickly, chatting about our days. When I kissed her goodbye and left, I felt a little foolish for doubting her. Maybe that dinner with Jake really had been a one-time thing. But 2 weeks later it happened again. Another late night, another Wednesday. I wanted to believe her. I really did. I tried to trust her. But doubt was beginning to take root, growing stronger each time. Months later, on a Friday night, I found myself at a local steakhouse for one of those semi-annual office parties. Christmas in June, they called it. I wasn't close to many people there, just a few familiar faces. I mingled, sipping on soda and making small talk with coworkers and their spouses. That's when I met Karen, an older woman with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. "I'm the office manager," she said, shaking my hand. "I handle the extra assignments." I smiled, trying to keep things light. "So, you're the one keeping Ashley late, huh? Making my nights a little lonelier." Karen tilted her head, puzzled. "What do you mean?" "You know," I said casually, "those special projects. She's been staying late a couple times a month." Karen frowned. "I haven't given Ashley any projects lately. We had a few, but those went to other people. She stays late sometimes, sure, but usually it's to catch up after long lunches or personal errands." My chest went cold. I mumbled something about mixing up names and laughed it off, but my mind was spinning. Long lunches. No projects. I had taken her at her word, like a husband should. Now I felt like a fool. Those Thursday nights started to look different. Maybe Jake had changed days. Maybe they were on to me and trying to throw me off. Or maybe I was just being paranoid. But I needed proof. The next Thursday, I borrowed my buddy James's truck and parked across from her office at noon. I watched as she stepped out of the lobby, hand in hand with a tall guy with dark hair. Had to be Jake. They laughed as they walked toward the parking lot, carefree, like they had nothing to hide. I snapped a few photos with my phone, my hands shaky. Her co-workers might not recognize me, but this was bold. They climbed into a gray sedan and drove off, followed from a distance. A few miles out, they pulled into a cheap motel. They didn't even check in at the front desk. It looked like a routine. I parked far enough away and kept watching. Jake led her to a room. She kissed him slow and deep at the door. My stomach turned. But I kept snapping photos. She still wore her wedding ring. I wondered if that made it more exciting for him. I sat there for hours numb. But my next steps were already forming. Called a lawyer. Took a few days off work. By 2:30 she came out, fixing her hair, her dress slightly wrinkled. I didn't need any more proof. That night she called with the same old excuse. Working late. Played along. Okay, I said. Pause. You always call when I'm running late. When she got home, her tone was playful. What's up? She asked. Got busy in the garage, I lied. Lost track of time. Hope those late nights wrap up soon. Yeah, she said, laughing. Or I'll tell him to give it to someone else. I nodded, already knowing that next time would be the last. I'd split our savings. Set everything in motion. I wasn't going to follow her again. I didn't need to. The next Thursday, I let her call go to voicemail. I ate takeout without tasting it. Then I started packing just my clothes, my gear. Everything else was hers or stuff I didn't care about. By 7 o'clock I was ready. Ashley walked in at 7:25, all smiles like nothing had changed. Hey babe, she said, setting down her purse and leaning in for a kiss. Pulled back, face blank. We need to talk. She blinked, caught off guard. Okay, honey. Let me just. No, I said, motioning toward the kitchen table. Now. We sat down at the same table where we'd shared coffee and laughter so many mornings. She smiled, thinking it was something small like paint colors or weekend plans. Kept my voice steady. Those late nights. How are the projects going? Great, she said, cheerful as ever. They're really happy with my work. Could be a promotion soon. Nice, I replied. Tell me about them. What have you been working on? Her smile faltered. Just some reports. Data stuff. Regional stats. Uwe. Anything else you want to tell me? She reached for my hand. Pulled away. Just that I love you, she said softly. I shook my head. I thought I knew that too. Until I found out about you and Jake. She sighed, annoyed. Michael, not this again. I haven't seen him since that dinner months ago. Really? I slid my phone across the table. The motel photo stared up at her. Her and Jake, her fixing her hair outside the room. Her head dropped. Her hands trembled. I pushed the divorce papers toward her. No, Michael, please, she whispered. It was nothing, I swear. Can't we fix this? Counseling, anything. No, Ash, I said, my voice calm but final. We're done. Cheating's a deal breaker, I said quietly. You're my wife, and you were with him. You lied to my face. That's not just betrayal. That's disrespect. Me. Thus. There's no coming back from that. Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't about you. Love you. Seeing him just brought back old feelings. The first night was just dinner. But he kept popping into my head. 2 weeks later he asked me to lunch, and it happened. She paused, choking on the words. I won't lie. After that it got easier but less exciting. I was going to end it. Swear. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry too, I said, standing. I loved you. But we're done. I walked out, got in my truck, and never looked back. Months later the divorce was final. She didn't fight it. She moved away, probably with Jake. I got a small place, threw myself into work, landed a bonus. Still sometimes I missed her. That spark she had. The way she used to light up a room. Almost a year later she texted me. Said she was in town. Wanted to grab a drink. Curiosity got the better of me and I said yes. At the bar she looked thinner. Still gorgeous. Still Ashley. Hey, I said, hugging her lightly. Thinking of moving back, she said, sipping her wine. Miss it here. Jake cool with that? I asked, no edge in my voice. She shook her head. We're done. He was cheating on me too. Had other women on his delivery route. Some husbands found out. Roughed him up pretty bad. He bolted after the hospital. No clue where he is now. That's rough, I said, and I meant it. Karma, I guess. She gave a dry laugh. I'm job hunting. But there's one thing I needed to settle. She gave me that smile, the one that used to melt me. I'm sorry, Michael, she said, her voice soft. I was an idiot chasing a ghost. We had something great. I still love you. Any chance we could try again? Before I could answer, the door swung open. A woman in a green dress strode over, dropped her bag on a chair and kissed my cheek. Sorry I'm late, babe, she said, grabbing the rum and coke I'd ordered her. Meeting ran long. Ashley's face fell. Some good stuff, I hope, she said, her voice thin. Mostly Olivia, I said, laughing. He speaks well of you, except the end bit. Guess that's normal. Ashley's eyes glistened. He's a good guy, she said thickly. Hang on to him. Don't mess up like I did. Olivia smiled. I will. She held up her hand. Her ring sparkled in the low bar light. Ashley froze, stared at it, deflated. Congrats, she murmured. I hoped maybe with time we could. I began. I get it, Olivia cut in, gentle but firm. But I'd love to know you. You help shape the man I love. Maybe we could be friends. Ashley let out a short, sad laugh. Yeah, someone told me that once. Wish I'd listened. She stood to leave. You can stay, I said quietly. She shook her head. No, Michael. That chapter's closed. And then she was gone. Olivia squeezed my hand. Months later I proposed by the lake. Her yes lit up my world. We built a life. One of trust and love. And everything I'd thought I'd lost. Ashley faded into memory, a distant lesson. Looking at Olivia now, laughing beside me, I knew. Sometimes the best things come after the worst. And finally I had everything I needed.